right, you good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Welcome back to Quick Match, everyone. Sorry we were gone for a while. Somebody decided to move and upend their entire life.
It only took
And
2 months.
only 2 months, to move out of state. Sorry I was such a mess last time. A lot of things were going on in my life, and I had no sleep. But hey, I'm awake now, so, you know, we'll do better this time. So, how's everything been going on your end?
Tired.
You're tired?
I'm tired. Like, moving fucking sucks.
Oh, yeah? How big's your driveway?
How big is it? Not very.
See, I got about mine's about 100 foot long and about 7 foot wide, and I just got done shoveling it about an hour ago.
Like, we
so
can we
I,
can fit both our vehicles and then maybe
oh
a third if we squish.
yeah, you seen how big my driveway was, and you helped me with that chair that one time. It's like I have plenty of room, but my God, having to move a foot of snow is not fun.
Right.
And then I was like, it's clear, and then it snowed again. So, and luckily it wasn't so bad this time, but. So you've been doing all right with your new job?
It's fun. It's interesting.
It's fun. You've been sick as a dog from it, but
Exactly. Just got over it like last week.
you quit your job, start a new job, have no health insurance, and catch the flu. Welcome to
Exactly.
America.
I was
So what have
loving
you been
life.
playing? I was just say I put a roof on my house. Thank goodness, just in
Hell
time for all this
yeah.
snow. Well, just in time for all this snow because I'm pretty sure that what we got now would have crushed it. But what have you been playing?
I started the first Alan Wake.
Oh yeah, I still need to finish that one.
I think I'm on
I
like the
got
fourth or fifth chapter of it.
I got maybe 75% of the way through because it was when shit starts hitting the fan. And then I like something else came up and it's like, oh, I'll play that. And I bought Alan Wake 2 on the sale, over winter because I got like $200 in PlayStation gift cards for Christmas from my
Jesus.
family. So I'm like, cool, what am I gonna buy? So I bought that. Um, let's see. So you playing Alan Wake 1 and you said Balatro when you're
Yeah,
before.
Balatro, Alan Wake. What else? I finished the Stanley Parable like a few days ago.
Which way? Which ending?
Every ending that you can possibly
Oh,
get.
you completed it.
I completion run that thing. The only thing I don't have is the achievement where you have to keep the game open for like 24 hours on a Tuesday.
Don't they? Do they still have the trophy for or not playing it for like a decade or something?
Yeah, so I figured out that they were nice people and allow you to just change the PlayStation time.
Ah,
So I just jumped to 2035 and then jump back.
hopefully you'll still be alive. The
And it
legit.
worked. And then the 24-hour one, they actually track in game, so I have to at some point I have to force Ash to stare at the Stanley
But
Parable game for 24 hours.
the PlayStation will it shut off if you unplug the HDMI cable? Because you could just do that and use your
I don't
TV
think so,
normally.
but yeah, I'll have to give that a shot.
Yeah.
I know I have to switch the
So,
PlayStation's like settings to where it doesn't shut off after a set amount of time,
see, I don't know if I have that even turned on or not.
or
Because I
just
usually just,
or just touch the controller every once in a while so it refreshes. But nah, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
you just like have a rubber band stuck. So you're just running into a wall.
Stanley's just running in circles, but it was actually a really fun game.
Oh yeah, I've seen playthroughs of it. I have it, but I just like it's one of those things where I grabbed on sale. I'm like, I'll get to this, and
Well,
then I never did.
the deluxe was free for PS Plus this month,
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
so I'm gonna finish Alan Wake, and then I'll probably put myself
Did you?
through hell and play Suicide Squad because it was free.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that was free too. I was
And
gonna say you touched control.
I said the only way I'd play it is if it became free to play. And here
Please
we
play our
are.
game,
It's now free to
please.
play, so I'm gonna try it out, see what all the hype's about.
Please, please play our game, please. We're done with it now. Cool. I got it all for free. But for me, I got Dragon Age: The Veilguard for Christmas, and I platinumed that sucker.
Already?
Uh, yeah, like, oh, I loved the Dragon Age world and setting and everything. So it's kind of like a soft reset for everything because I think it's 20 years, 20 or so years in story after Dragon Age 1 and 2. Well, Dragon Age 1, I guess.
Origins?
Yeah, because like Varric's in it.
Mhm.
Have you how many Dragon Age have you played?
Inquisition. And
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't even play all that. I stopped after
Yeah.
like 2 hours.
Oh, it's like the problem they had is they didn't know what to want to do with their gameplay, but it's a lot more actiony now. Like guard, move. It's a lot more active.
So kind of like
It's not.
Dragon's Dogma in a way.
No, it's oh yeah, I guess kind of like Dragon's Dogma, but it's faster. Um, but like Varric's in it. He was in Inquisition. He was also in Dragon Age 2.
Mhm.
And I swear I think they mentioned is like it's been like 20 years or something because Varric's like the narrators of the story.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I liked it. I liked the characters a lot. I platinumed it because it's you can do it in a single run. It doesn't require you to start multiple characters or do multiple things.
That one
It
Is that one
yeah.
character who like the internet has labeled the biggest fucking bitch, like a big bitch, like people say she is?
Who? Tosh, I'm guessing.
I'm
Is it the
gonna ass-
Kunari?
I'm gonna assume that's who it is. I'll look real quick
Is
just so I'm not sitting here talking out my
it
ass.
is it
Yeah, Tosh.
if it's Tosh? Tosh can be, but then Tosh has got their whole thing going on. So
Mhm.
they warm up to you, but they're kind of just blunt,
Very
you
blunt.
know.
I think that's why
Well, it's
people
like
have called them a fucking bitch.
it's like Tosh grew on me. So slight spoilers. If anyone's familiar with Bioware games, they have their old way of characters can die at a certain point in the game, and they make you choose. If you played Mass Effect 1,
I actually restarted it a few days ago, but I didn't get very far because I've
you've
just
never
been
beaten
busy.
it or anything.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a word of advice when you play Dragon Age 1, and this is for everyone else. Do Vermeer last. Because it's kind of a point of no return for your story. It's like they'll give you three worlds in Mass Effect 3 or Mass Effect 1 you got to go to, and it's like then they'll give you a fourth one, and it's like that fourth one is kind of like meant to be like the last one you go to because a lot of story stuff happens there. It's like oh it's kind of like and as a result of the story actions there, one of your party members has to die, and they do that in Dragon Age: The Veilguard. And I'm like, I like both these characters. Why are you doing this to me?
Why are you making me choose?
Yeah, and I'm like, I literally sat there for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, shit. I'm like, because I recognize the choice. I'm like, there's a 50-50 chance that they're not going to do anything like this to me because I don't think they did anything like that in the other Dragon Age games. And yeah, it's like, because like you have a loyalty system. Like, okay, it could be like Mass Effect 2, where if everyone's got enough loyalty, they'll be fine. And then I found out later on, like, nope, that's where they choose to die, but it's like an hour later. It's like, oh, and then it's like someone else can die if they don't have loyalty. And it's like, good lord, like, oh, all these characters that you may have grown to like and care about, it's like, nah, we're just gonna kill them in front of you,
Yeah,
suffer,
it's like, what
feel
if
the
we
pain.
kill them?
Oh, it's like, well, they even warn you in the game though. I'll give them this, where it's like, this is the point of no return, and it's like you still got like 15 hours of game left after that
Like,
because
wait a
it's like,
minute.
oh, but it's like this is your point of no return. Do everything you want to do now, and
Because
it's like,
this is the last
yeah,
time.
yeah, it's like because so they have a neat thing where it's like but it's got a lot of open maps for you to run around in,
Mhm.
and like every time a new party member joins, they kind of have a uh, like it's kind of like a Metroidvania in a way, where it's like they give you a power up, and you got this dagger that lets you, even if they're not in your party, just like pull them in real quick to do their ability. So like Tosh, they breathe fire, so it's like oh look at those explosive barrels over there, and you can just like highlight them, and they'll just fireball out of nowhere, boom, blow it up for you.
Mhm.
And it's like you lose that character who can die, or the other character who can die, you'd lose their overworld abilities. So they kind of are forced to lock you out at that point.
Yeah, I get you.
But I like it. I'd say it's an 8 out of 10. It kind of restarts the Dragon Age universe.
So it's like a
So I
soft
think they're
reset, basically.
yeah. Yeah, it's like a lot they kind of just say a lot of things happened, but they don't go into great detail on a lot of the stuff in the past, which I'm fine with. You played Inquisition, but Dragon Age Origins, you could port your save data over to Dragon Age 2, and that would influence certain things. And then you could port that over to Inquisition if you went to Dragon Age Keep, which is like an online server they ran where you could upload your save. And it's like you can customize your save at Dragon Age Keep to port it into Inquisition, all your world choices and everything. And basically, it hit a point where they couldn't keep doing that because Inquisition had so many things they could change. You know, you could already tell that they were straining with Inquisition to keep all your choices relevant and make them matter. So I'm like, it makes sense that they did that, and it'll be a lot easier for them to do things now with how servers are set up and online stuff is. Where it's like, oh, here's your save, pull it over. Apparently, you can port your Inquisitor over from because your Inquisitor from Inquisition is in Veilguard in a bit, especially towards the end. Um, So it's like, oh, you can port them over, and I didn't know that, so I just like quickly customized them the most basic way possible. And then you can, so it's like, oh, it's like I remember the beard style my character had, but nothing else. So it's just like, oh, look, there's bland face McBaby man there because he didn't have any like just young aged. It's like even though it's been like 5 years
And then
later,
they
he's
finally tell you like, oh, you could have just ported him over.
oh no, it's like I read that online like what? And I guess because I didn't have my Inquisition save on my PlayStation 5 because it was on PS4, it didn't even like pop up as an option. Either that or it's only on Steam or something or Epic Games.
It's probably
You
through
know.
Epic or whatever they
Yeah.
like mainly go through. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you go to customize your Inquisitor and it's like, so what happened? Like a few events that happened and who they end up with or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, that's nice. So
Yep.
I've been playing that. I've been playing Darkest Dungeon 2 on my Steam Deck. It's a lot of fun, even though it's painful.
I've been trying to convince Ash to play Baldur's Gate 3 with me.
Oh,
Like when
that
I
could be
first
fun for
moved
you.
in, I was like, "Can we play Baldur's Gate?"
Yeah. See, Leanne, she's just been playing Stardew Valley like always. So she's like she doesn't ask me too many questions anymore, which is good. It's occasionally it's like, hey, what's this do? So I'm like, oh, it does this, or it's like I don't want to tell her what to do, so she can have her own little journey. But I'm like, oh no, you should definitely get some sprinklers going there for your farm, so you don't have to spend all morning watering them.
Right.
But she's like, I don't like going into the mines. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but you still need to do it.
Still got to work on it.
Yeah, well, it's like, oh, you got a prismatic shard, go get the ultimate sword now. But
Go
I
gain
am,
the ability to kill.
yeah, well, I'm still like I'm pretty good at Stardew Valley, but I haven't touched it in a minute. But Darkest Dungeon 2, I'm still stuck on like there's 5 different chapters or 5 different confessions, I think is how it is. I'm still stuck on the first one. I tried to beat one of like the area bosses and I got so close and it's just like, now you all die. Like you lose one party member, it just breaks everything.
Damn.
So, but it's a lot more fun to play on. I'm having a lot more fun with Darkest Dungeon 2 than Darkest Dungeon 1. I
Right.
think it's just because it plays more like a roguelite, where it's like, oh, y'all died, your run resets. Meanwhile, in Darkest Dungeon 1, it's like, well, go refit a whole new group.
Go
It's so
restart.
it's well, it's kind of like you could have multiple like units and stuff like that, but it's kind of like this one I can just pick my team and go forward as opposed to like building them up, worrying about like all these little. It feels a lot more streamlined, so it's
Right.
more enjoyable. And then because it was on sale, I got Star Wars Outlaws because I had a lot of PlayStation money, so I'm like, or PS, card money. So I'm like, that it's all right.
I get you.
it's a it's a very slow start. Well, it's like, oh, you can finally travel to other star systems and do things. It's when it feels like it actually comes alive.
Yeah.
How do I put this? I'd give it a 7 at most out of 10.
Holy
It's so
shit.
far. I'm not done with it, but like it's a lot of fun to play. Like once you figure out how to like, here's the thing. I'm playing it post patch. They patched up. Apparently at launch it was more busted. So people. I'm not gonna say anything about people's opinions then, but gameplay wise, it's like, oh man, you got to sneak through. It's like, well, you got your little buddy there. You got 2 guys there. Stun shot or sneak up on one dude and have your buddy like just eat the face of the other dude for a minute till you can punch him in the face and knock him out.
I mean, yeah.
It's it's like it gives you like little team up moments, and I like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're part like with the Jedi Survivor games, BD1, your robot buddy, he doesn't really do combat with you or anything. It's just kind of like basic stuff, and it's like your little buddy Nix is like, oh hey, you need me to go open that up? Okay, cool. What's that? You want me to go distract these guys? Cool. It feels like a little party member teammate kind of situation, so I like it more.
Yeah.
So, but it's got its issues. So it's kind of it's and like I'll see how I say feel about it when I beat it, but I'd say it's a 7 out of 10 right now.
7.
It
That's
doesn't have a it doesn't have a lot of depth, but it's a Star Wars game, and the worlds actually feel like a Star Wars world.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, you go to this city and it actually feels kind of crowded and busy and run down. So
I mean, yeah. If it works, it
yeah,
works.
yeah. Well, that's my problem with the Jedi games. It's like, oh, like in is it Survivor? Yeah, I think Survivor's the second one. I always get them Fallen Order and Survivor backwards. But like there's in Survivor you have like one town that you're kind of just hanging around, and you just jump to other worlds, and they're kind of like just a couple little hubs. So it's like you don't really get to see the universe. You're just kind of like hanging around specific areas.
Mhm.
This one, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go make the Empire mad. You're fighting off the Empire, and then you're like, oh, I'll go leave. Go flee to another system because they escalate things. Go to another system, and you see two factions that you work for fighting. It's like, do I help them out? Nah, I don't think I will. I don't want to lose any points.
Mhm.
You know.
It's like, no,
So,
I don't think I will.
oh, that's like, oh, what's that? Pirates are attacking. I'm good. But nah, that's about been it for me. Like, let's just working, surviving, trying to basically pay off that roof.
Right. I was gonna ask how that went.
uh, it was all right. It took them a while to get out here to do it, but that's no fault of them. It was all nice and dry, and then the moment I'm like, hey, I should have put a roof on. It kept raining and storming, so they couldn't get up there to do anything because you don't want them up there working in the rain and the wind. But they got it done right around Thanksgiving, so
Don't want to injure
uh,
the poor Amish people.
they got it done in a day. So, like, my only issue was things sat out there, but like I said, like storms blew through. We had that stinking drought, and then all of a sudden fall hits, and it's like, oh, it's time for you guys to get some rain and storms and wind. So, and now all this snow. We didn't have any snow for years. We got a foot this week, and then we got another 4 inches.
Let's go!
Yeah, no, it's like, oh, cool. All the rain we didn't get in the summer when we could have used it is here now. So,
Yeah!
oh Lord, like I said, how big's your driveway? Because I'm like, oh, I can shovel the driveway. I used to be a young man, not
uh,
anymore.
we have only shoveled enough to where Ash can get their car out.
Yeah, no, for me, it's like, oh, I had my car, the condenser went out of it this week, so I had to so I got it out, and I was like, I drove it up and down the driveway to make sure it'd be clear, and then as I was like just walking back, I'm like, okay, cool, I got out. I'm like, why is there a yellow, just trickle going to my car? I'm like, oh no. So had to dig it out, and then I had to take Leanne's car to work. And she was like scared to death of me driving that car because we're under like a level 1 snow. We've been under a level 1 snow emergency for over a week.
We've been at 1. We've been at like 3.
Well, they won't declare it up here. The sheriff doesn't like to because businesses are like, oh hey, we like staying open, so we never went above a level 2. But if you look at everyone around us, they were level 3.
Yeah, it's like we
It's
were
like,
like 3, maybe 4. I'm so kind of surprised.
so you know how my road, like you have the one entrance in town, and then you got the one that's outside of town, like
Yeah.
where you turn it over there, where you turn off that one road onto my road. Someone went in the ditch in the middle of the snowstorm and then like I took that route back because I was like, oh, what's it look like over here after I picked up my car, and they had not even like scraped it properly. There was like snow and ice everywhere on it. Like my road is still an icy sheet. It's
That's
like
awesome.
I think they scraped it. They didn't salt it. I'm like, good. I'm so glad. All the salt I feel towards you will take care of this ice. But yeah. So like you guys doubled my property tax, but you can't salt the road.
Can't, can't make it easier for me to leave.
Well, I mean, I could go on about this. The joys of being a homeowner. Um, But it's just like, wow. I remember I had an electrician come out last year or year before last, my first year I moved in here to like fix something for me. He's like, "Oh yeah, how are the road crews here?" And he just kind of laughed, and I didn't understand, and now I do.
Now we get it.
It's like, oh well, you could tell they're trying in some places, but in other places,
Right.
yeah, it's like just a little salt. A little, please, can I have some salt?
Please,
Um,
sir, can I have some more?
oh, I salted my entire driveway because I went and bought a bag of salt, and I'm like, see, was that hard?
Right.
And I'm the last house on this side of the road, so they always push the snow up right, like 3 feet from my mailbox. I'm like, really, guys, come on. So, um, anyway, you want to get on gaming news?
Sure. I
So you've
have.
been hearing about the Switch too?
Oh, oh, trust me, I've heard about it.
So I've
So
seen something on
excited.
Twitter. I've seen something on Twitter today. Apparently, the Nintendo Ninjas showed up for Genki at a booth. They and
Oh no.
Yeah, so apparently, from what I understand, like the Switch they have, Switch 2 model or whatever that people are seeing, is based off of like not stuff that was taken from an unofficial source. Let me see if I can find it here because I seen that. And then, oh Lord, the page is gone. Oh no. But apparently it was, so neither of them are claiming anything was official about it. Uh, is but it was based on leaked information that's circulating the industry, and neither Nintendo Genki will confirm that it was based on the real Switch 2, but they have also said that none of that information is incorrect if you want to
That's
look at
awesome.
it that way. So it's
Well,
like, oh, so it's like it could be, a load of BS and it's just, concept ideas that they're running on, or it's completely legitimate. So the only way we'll see or know is if we, when we get it.
yeah.
Um, for me, it's like, okay, you got this going on. And then some other guy who managed to leak stuff online, like a well-known leaker, I forget what he is because it was on my Twitter, and then I was like, oh, that's interesting, and then I went to go find it and it's gone. Yeah, because it's just how it works now. Apparently, he's been accurate on things. He said it's gonna be 400 Canadian dollars, which
Oh,
I think is
I was
200.
actually getting ready to talk about that.
Oh, you seen it?
I don't think that's true though.
Okay.
400 Canadian is like 270 US.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be something like. I mean, the original Switch was 200.
This is true, but still. I
And
guess
then
we'll I
it's
guess we'll
supposed to
know
launch.
January 17th. So
Yeah,
next Friday when we're supposedly supposed to hear something.
yeah. And then that's like it's supposed to launch with Red Dead 2 and Mario Kart 9 as
Arthur,
launch titles.
Arthur, I have a plan.
No,
What if we
no,
go on the Switch too, Arthur?
no. I'm just imagining it's like look at this beautiful scene and it's just pixelized and fuzzy.
Looks like Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Hey, those games look great.
It seems to.
Xenoblade Chronic Xenoblade Chronicles 3 hurt me.
They took the
Okay.
they took the grapes from Final Fantasy, and that's just the graphical scale we get for RDR2 on the Switch.
And like I never did finish Red Dead 2, and I know a lot of people have this issue. It's just too long and it kind of gets boring in places. And it's kind of like a lot it's like worth seeing to the end. I get that. But it's also like, my God, how long is this going to go on? Like, it's too much, it's too big. And I know it's a weird thing to say when it comes to video games, but sometimes you got to look at what you're doing and just be like, okay.
And tell my dogs to shut up. And I forgot to mute
Oh,
Discord.
I'm just getting ready to say something like, shut up. I'm like, okay, I
No,
see how it
I
is.
had to tell dogs to shut up. And I wanted to I honestly at this point I'm just not gonna mute anything anymore. I'll edit it out. Me telling dogs to shut up won't be the end of the world.
I've lost my train of thought on what I was saying. I think I was talking about how
RDR2.
big it was. Well, no, it's just with Red Dead 2. It's like,
It's a big
for me,
game.
it's just, yeah, it's too big.
So
It's like sometimes you got to look at how big something is and like, look, are people going to explore every nook and cranny of this? Some will. Are people going to get us? It's like when a game's too big, it feels too empty,
Mm.
or sometimes people who like to complete things are never going to find anything just because of how big and chunky your game is, and
So
that'll turn some people off to it. You know?
for Black Friday this year, I
Mm-hmm.
um I bought a Series X,
Oh yeah.
and Ash has been playing through the first Red Dead Redemption.
Are you, oh, red. Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you gonna play the second one?" And then I explained that the opening is like 2 hours long,
Yeah.
like 2.5 hours long, and they're like, "Yeah, probably not."
Yeah. See, it's like it's all beautiful. It's such a pretty game and everything, but it's like it's sometimes it's too much, guys. Like if your game takes that long to get into, you got a problem. And that's like I mentioned Outlaws earlier. That's kind of a problem it has, where it's like, oh, you escaped the tutorial, your starting point, but then you're still stuck on this other planet for like 10 hours trying to fix up your ship and doing odd jobs. It's like, eh, kind of ruins the experience.
Yeah.
So it's like once you get past that, there's a lot of fun to have and you go around and explore things, but you have to work for it, and that kind of really ruins a lot of people. If you don't hook them quick, they're not going to be happy with it.
So hey, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Were you excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows next month? Because guess what? It
Oh
got delayed again, baby. We now
yeah,
gotta wait till March.
yeah. No, it's like I'll be excited for Assassin's Creed Shadow when I see it on sale.
Same.
Like not to purchase. I'm talking about like on like 50 or 80% off, like they keep running because Ubisoft is dying.
I'll wait until it
Um,
becomes free to play as a PS Plus game.
oh man, I remember the only Assassin's Creed game there's a few I haven't played, but like mainline ones, I don't think I played Unity. I think that's
Ooh.
the one I didn't play. Well, it was buggy as hell when it came out, so I kind of just didn't touch it.
Black Flag
But
will always be the GOAT. Don't
Black
come
Flag
at
is great.
me.
I played through that again like a few months ago back when I had like, all right, I got nothing going on. Yeah, holidays are coming up. I'll probably get a game or get some, PlayStation cards because I'm trying to watch my money and my spending here because adulthood and it sucks. Um, but I remember like I'll play through Black Flag and I'm like, man, this is a lot of fun. Like it has a few issues with some of its controls sometimes, but man, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked it. It's my favorite Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, I think Brotherhood is mine just because I like the idea that oh, you're playing as Ezio and he's experienced now, and now it's like, guess what? You get a button that summons assassins to help you. So it's like I remember doing like little challenge runs for myself back in the day where I just didn't buy any updates and all I would or updates upgrade or new equipment or anything. And I think the only thing I bought was like the Iron Fist or something, so I could punch unarmed. But I just kept stealing enemy weapons and killing them all with them, then throwing them down as I left. It's like, nah, I don't need any of this fancy stuff. I got your sword. Give me your sword. But man, I'm surprised Ubisoft hasn't remade Assassin's Creed One.
I don't think we'll ever get it at the rate they're going.
But you know what I mean? It's like they re-released the Ezio collection, they re-released Black Flag and Rogue and all the older ones, and they've never re-released Assassin's Creed One.
Right.
And I'm like, look, I get it. It's janky. It's kind of rough because it's the starting point.
No, it's like
I don't
Bloodborne,
hold
bro.
that.
They lost the source code, Lamau.
I honestly wonder if it's something like that. But it's, I don't know. Like Bloodborne, it still makes me mad. We still haven't gotten an updated or newer version of
No, it's
Bloodborne.
cool. Modding people made it to where you can finally play it on PC. You just have to download the
But
emulator.
you probably have to do a lot of steps in order to get to run good, though.
Yeah, there's a
But it's
few.
just, but it's just like, guys, what's going on here? It's like we got all these other PlayStation games coming to Steam and PC, so they had to have lost something important to run it. So
And then segueing into our next one, Xbox is just like, hey, so Halo's a good game. Can we put it on the PlayStation?
wait, seriously?
Yeah, apparently next this year it'll come out for PS5 and Switch 2.
Oh, they got nothing.
Got
I
nothing.
hate to be that way.
They got nothing.
Oh no,
Oh,
I
that's not
got
the only ones. That's it gets worse.
okay. How?
let me find the original post that
Are
I
we
found.
are we talking Gears of War now too? Because I'm trying to think of
Oh,
franchises that they
buddy,
have.
we're talking about some games.
Because like Grounded was a Microsoft Studios game, and it's like it says Microsoft Studios when you load it up, but it's also running on PC and PlayStation.
Hmm.
So
We're
like,
getting we're getting some interesting ones, which is why I'm trying to find the original listing that I found.
I'm just trying to think of stuff that like Xbox has. Like they got what's it called? That Bethesda game that came out and nobody played. Uh,
There's a lot of
uh,
those. You need to be more
no,
specific.
the Star one, the
This
Starship one,
Starfield?
Starfield. Like it lived and then it died.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
It's like, oh, it came out. It's kind of interesting. You see people playing it, and then you just don't hear anyone talk about it anymore.
Yeah, it's because it was boring as shit. No one had any reason to play it.
Yep.
I played it for like a week and then was like, yeah,
Well, it's like, oh,
that's a wrap.
we could have vehicles in this game, but we're not.
Yeah, and then they added vehicles, but only via the modding thing that they have.
No, I'm just thinking because Outlaws. I hate to bring it up, but it's like it's the only Star game I've played recently. Outlaws has a speeder you can upgrade and customize. I'm like, look at that, guys! It came with it at launch. Look, Bethesda. It's look at that. See, it's got a boost button, and I can hold down to jump.
Oh, here we go. So apparently, some of the other beautiful games that are coming out include Microsoft Flight Sim, um, Age of Mythology, Gears of War Ultimate,
Oh Lord!
and Hellblade 2.
Like they're just like, please,
Ladies
please.
and gentlemen, Xbox has died.
Yeah, no, it's it. There's a guy I used to work with, and we just bust each other's chops, friend, like oh look at your crappy Xbox or your crappy PlayStation, that kind of thing. Like I remember thinking like, what does Xbox have? And this is
Gears,
Jesus,
Halo,
this is 8 years ago or something. And like, I remember him
Gears,
getting a
Halo.
PlayStation.
That's pretty much
It's
it.
like I remember him getting a PlayStation to play Spider Man. I'm like, oh look at you trade being a trader. He's like, I just like Spider Man. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, sure, buddy. But no, it's like, all right, cool. We're gonna get some Gears of War, man. We'll see.
Can't wait for the new one to come out. I'm actually really excited about that.
Gears of War.
Yeah,
I haven't touched Gears of War since 3.
that's fair.
Well, it's I stopped getting Xboxes. I got a PlayStation because at that point I was old enough where it's like, oh, my parents aren't buying the consoles anymore. I can buy my own. So, then you got, let's see. So is that it for gaming news for now? Because I don't think there's anything really much going on, is there?
Not that I can think of.
Like, I mean, Xbox is dying, Ubisoft is dying, which I feel bad for the people who are losing their jobs and everything, but the companies aren't great. Sony isn't much better in a lot of ways, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh look, one evil is defeated, but there's still plenty more.
Right.
Uh, um, so what you been watching?
Oh God. Dan to Dan.
See, you're caught up on the anime, and I remember you telling me you caught up on the manga.
I'm caught up, baby.
Did you catch the latest chapters?
I'm done. I am fully caught up.
I mean, did they put them out weekly, dude?
Yeah, I
Like,
know. Like I'm caught up till
okay,
the next chapter.
okay.
I'm
So
done.
small spoilers for Dan to Dan, folks. Mister Buff Bully dude who's trying to like talk shit from the beginning. It's like, guess what? You're going to become an antagonist now.
Guess what? You're gonna remember that nerd that you tried to bully and then he fucked your shit.
No, I just love how it's like there's girls in the background. It's like Kenta or Takakura-san. He's getting kind of attractive now, isn't he?
And then the one who got Vietnam War flashbacks and was like, "Fuck."
Just to me, the best part is like it's still like even in the anime, it's like nobody could see the aura or the transformation. They just seen him reach up and pull him down,
It's just
like on your knees.
trash.
Oh,
Uh, uh,
uh,
we'll also finished Mashal recently.
See, I've never watched it, but I read it.
Oh my
Like,
god, you need to watch it. It's so good.
I
Fucking
bet it is. It's
Alex
a
Lee plays Mash.
oh god. Oh, he's playing Gigi too,
Yeah,
man.
he
You and
plays
I.
Gigi and Mash. It's the funniest shit in the world.
Oh no, it's just like I keep going back. I keep wanting to go back with Dan because I love it so much. But it's just like I can't wait for the shit to happen in season 2.
Get the
Takakura,
we get
it's
the
Tuesday.
and we can fight on Tuesdays.
No, I just can't. People like I'm gonna get right back to Dan, and I feel bad for Mashal here, but it's just like I kind of want Tuesday to roll around in the current setup where it's like, oh shit, what do I do?
Like I just want a normal Tuesday like episode. Like they're not doing anything and then it just becomes a fight.
It's like, all right, Evil Eye, we're gonna do extreme hacky sack. All right,
Extreme hacky sack.
yeah, no destroying buildings or property. It's like you play Tekken. Let's play Tekken.
But no, both are great, but Mashal's great. I loved it. I
Oh, I
think
just love
I
how.
think we got through both seasons in like less
Okay,
than a week.
does he have his wand in
Mashal
season 2?
Mashal kind of has Mash kind of has it, kind of.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't know if you got. I couldn't. I didn't know where season 2 went. That iron
Oh
rod. He
yeah,
does.
no, he gets that in oh shit. I think he gets it in yeah, season 2. Yeah, it's season 2.
I just love how it's like he doesn't do magic with it. He just uses it as a bludgeon
Yeah.
or whatever.
He turns it into a tennis racket.
I'm just like, what are you doing? Just like, let me bend this iron here with my bare hands. Tennis racket. Let's go.
Oh, never mind.
Quadriceps magic.
In the anime he gets it in the first season.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it's kind of I need to watch it because I'm not sure where things go because it's finished. It's ended and done.
Yeah.
So it's a complete story, which I'm glad to see because then you won't get any filler. Uh,
It's good though. Oh no,
oh,
apparently it is the second. Make up your mind, Google.
I mean, you could just load up your watch list and or whatever you watch it
It's
on and
fine.
see.
It's fine. It's the second season. I'm done looking.
I was gonna
If
say
I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
it probably fit for season 2 just because of where it's at.
I need him to hurry
But
up and drop season 3.
I just love how his whole gimmick is, nah, I'll just physically do it. I'm gonna fly on a broom and just kicks the air really hard.
There's so I don't know if he does it in the manga, but there's an episode, and of course, spoilers from Ashel. Um, there's a section where he's like getting ready to like he leaves the room for a minute to go do something, and he comes back while like the big bad guy is like walking, like doing his whole backstory, and Mash just goes, "I got cream puffs and OJ."
Probably does happen
Funniest
because
fucking shit.
he doesn't care. He's just Saitamaing and uh what's the name of the kid from
Mob.
mob. He's just mobbing it, or it's just like, oh hey guys,
And
what's that?
something will happen, and Mash is just there in the background, like, huh,
He's
huh.
just an antagonist. He's just a force. It's just like, oh, point me to a direction here. Let's go.
What's that? You're hurting my friends? Let me just quickly activate quadriceps magic and fuck your shit up.
I
But
just love how
no.
it's like, let me punch these spells out of the way.
That's my favorite part. It's like they use a spell on him and he just blocks it, and they're like, "What?"
Let me bench press this gigantic thing to get it out of the way. Let
Oh
me.
my god. For like ever since we watched that episode, that's just been like the one thing that Ash and I keep reciting is just I got cream puffs and OJ. Or in the anime, whenever he's working out, he just goes hop up 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 up. I'm like, I love it.
Oh, I really need to sit down and watch it. Like
I think you should. It's great. It is a great time.
the only thing I've watched recently was Shangri-La Frontier, and I'm not done with season 1 because it's 25 episodes.
Jesus.
It's a full one. That's why I'm
I
still
say
working on it.
Jesus, but I'll probably still end up watching it at some point.
Oh, it's good. It like it feels like it was written for a gamer or by a gamer for gamers because he's fighting this one dude, this samurai, Weathermon, the crypt guard, I think.
Mm.
And that fight goes on for like 5 episodes, and he's just like his two friends are like dealing with the ad that gets summoned and keeping him alive. And he is just constant. Like he'll die, they'll res him real quick with an item. They prepped for like a month basically for this fight, and he's just soloing the boss, trying to outlast it till it gets weak so he can fight it. And it's just like, and it's just him constantly like trying to figure out the timings. I'm like, I've done this myself in Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all these other FromSoft games. It's like learn the boss's timing, then exploit it, and do this and do that.
Dude became the guy
And
from
it's
Squid Game and is like, I've played these games before.
well, that's his whole thing is he played all these shitty VR games. You know, it's like, and he's just survive. Like it opens up with him like beating one, and it's like there's this annoying princess character, and it's like he takes out his revenge and beats the crap out of her during the credits. Because if you do anything that makes her upset, it like sets everything back. He's like, "This game was terrible. It was horrible." And it's like, and then he's like, and then it's like, and now I get to take my revenge. It's just,
This shit kind of sucks.
oh, I recommend you just check out the first episode because
I need
it's
to.
not deep, but it's fun, and that's that's what you need sometimes. You need a fun show to watch.
Mhm. That's
It's
what
like, oh,
Mashal was
there's
for us. It was just
yeah.
something fun to turn on.
It's like the stakes aren't really dire in Shangri-La because it's a VR game, you know. It's not like SAO where it's like you die. It's like, oh, I died, dang.
Darn. That fucking
Like,
sucks.
well, it's like he's gonna like episode 2 or 3, he fights the boss on the bridge by himself, and he shouldn't be fighting. And it's like he's poisoned. He's like, crap, 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 crap. Where's a bed? I need a bed. I need a bed. Set his respawn.
That's
So
awesome.
someone's like, is that guy a monster? Because he's got that bird hat on. And it's like getting ready to shoot him. It's like, no, 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 that's another player. It's another player. Hey, buddy, the inn is straight ahead to the left. He's like, thank you.
Quickly resets his spawn and then runs back.
Well, no, he just dies. He
Ah,
hits the bed. He's
fantastic.
like, yes. He hits the bed, dies, and he's like, oh, thank God. And he comes out and like help. Thanks. Like later on, I think. But it's
That's
just the
awesome.
whole. It's like shit, 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 shit.
When
Like I play.
I'm so excited for Dan to Dan season 2.
Oh, it's in June, I think. It's June or July.
June or July, yeah. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
Mashal season 3 should be coming out this year.
yeah.
I fucking hope so, man. I love Mashal. Yeah,
Pocket
July.
Theory Diaries. Yeah, Pocket Theory Diaries started season 2, but I'm gonna wait a while for it to build up because it's one of those shows I like to binge. Because I like me my dramas. I like um. Let's see, Apothecary Diaries is on my watch list. Got to catch up. Shangri-La Frontier, I think, has an entire second season I got to do. Um, I need to sit down and read Kagurabachi. You still there?
Yeah, I'm just listening, browsing.
Oh, I was just like, uh oh, because I remember you had some trouble earlier. I'm like, uh oh, did he mute me
Ah,
again?
we're all good.
All right. No, I really need to sit down and check out Kagurabachi because apparently it's better than all the jokes that are being made. It's actually apparently fairly decent. Oh, something that'll affect you if it's true. Comey Can't Communicate. It's got 3 chapters left or something.
Honestly, that's fine.
Yeah, I seen that. I was scrolling through Twitter. I'm like, oh, I got to remember that, and then it got lost. You know how it is.
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that because it'll finally give me time to sit down and actually read it.
Well, that and stories need to come to an end. Just constantly like dragging them out for the sake of dragging them out is not good. You know.
No, for
Let's
Christmas,
see.
I now found a new manga to read, so I'm excited.
Oh, what you got?
Ash got me the first volume of Sakamoto Days.
Oh, you haven't checked that out before?
Nope. This will be
Oh,
I think once we're done here, I might actually sit down and read it because it is only the first volume, so I'll be done with it in like 20 minutes.
yeah. See, I got into that for a while, and I was like, oh, I'll wait for it to build up like I do a Spy Family, and then
Mhm.
I've just never gone back to it because the Shonen Jump app eats data at work.
Yep.
So I'm like, I read on my lunch break. I'm like, you're out of data. Shit.
and then it
So
dropped the anime on Netflix.
yeah, they dropped the anime, so I'm like, oh, that's great. But it's like I was far enough ahead that I got all season one covered. But I need to finish it. Undead Unluck is ending soon, and I need to catch up on it. I was pretty caught up on it for a while, and then it's like new big arc starting. I'm not going to get into spoilers of that because it's major spoilers. But I'm like, oh, I'll catch up on that, and then I've just been letting it build up, and it's like, oh, it's ending soon. Good. Like,
One of these days I'll come back.
well, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'll make a because like I've maxed out my Shonen. Shonen Jump's app has a reading limit of 100 chapters, and there have been a couple of times where I've maxed it out in a day.
I hit that
Where it's like,
while finally finishing up Dan because one night I just couldn't sleep.
yeah,
So from like 11 to I think like 2 or 3 in the morning, I was just
yeah.
reading Dan, and then it was like, you hit your limit. You can go again in like 20 minutes. And I was like, fuck, okay.
Oh, I hit mine the first time with Assassination Classroom. I was like, oh, this is fun. And I started reading. I'm like, I can't put this down. And then I didn't know Shonen Jump had a limit until I hit it. So, because I don't think a lot of people hit their limits that often. Because it's like, you find something new and you just eat it.
Right.
It's like I must binge it. And like with Dan to Dan, I think I got into it around chapter 100, so I didn't have too much to catch up to it on. I just kept seeing the meme. It's like where my balls are gone. I'm like, okay, what's this from? I must find this.
Oh, they're good.
The English dub did a much better job of that scene than the Japanese dub. Because the whole cutting away. Do you remember in the anime when that scene happens?
Which
When
part?
he looks down at the urinal and
Oh,
realizes he's
yeah.
lost his balls.
And he's like,
The,
what the fuck? And it jump cuts.
yeah, yeah, they don't do that in the Japanese one. I'm like, no, guys, come on, you could have alluded to it. You could
You could have made it so much funnier.
like that's like the only scene I think they've cut.
Damn.
And I think it's just because it was censorship stuff. They might be like in the Blu-ray or something that they put out.
Yeah, that is true.
They'll probably do. You remember the Grape Coon chapter? They'll probably do that as a Soda Grape Coon. They'll probably do that
Yeah,
as like an OVA or something.
probably.
Because it's just a silly random episode or chapter.
Uh-huh.
Um, let's see. Is that all? So that's about it for me. You said you were reading. Uh, wife got me a book for Christmas. I asked her to get it for me.
Oh, snap. What book?
I think it's called The Paranormal.
Oh.
Well, let me see here. Is it that? Yeah, it's The Paranormal Ranger.
Okay.
And it's a true stories, or if you want to say air quotes true or whatever, because it's
Yeah.
paranormal.
Yeah.
It was a guy who was basically like Indian reservations have their own police force and stuff, like independent, because they're basically like small independent countries,
A Navajo
and it's stuff,
investigator's search for the unexplained. Interesting.
and it's a lot of his stories and some pictures and stuff in it. And it's like, oh, what was your first crazy encounter? And it's like, oh, he thinks he ran. He's pretty sure he had an encounter with the skinwalker when he was about 18. So it's like, oh,
I can
and
borrow
here,
that book from my local library. I'll have to check it out.
yeah, it's not bad. I need to sit down and read it, but I'm always like, oh, I got a million one games to play, and it's just sitting there next to me on the table. So I'm like, when the power goes out, I'll read you some more because
One
I
of these
usually read.
days, I'll sit down.
Well, if like Leanne's driving us somewhere, because like she'll drive to certain places, I'll drive to certain places. It's just how we do it. I'm like, oh, cool. I'll sit down and read this while you're driving. I'll sit down and pay attention to this book so I don't fear death. And
Right?
she's like, I'm not a terrible driver. I'm like, I know you're not, but I also like to, backseat drive. So I'm like, so I don't do that to you. I'll keep myself distracted.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been guilty of that too.
she's like, stop telling me how to drive. I'm
Yeah,
like,
she
all
probably
right.
hates me whenever I do that.
And I'm like, all right, look, I'll just let you do your thing here. It's like, I'll peek my head up if you suddenly slam the brakes and go, what? Are we dying? Is this the end? um, let's see. Speaking of paranormal stuff, I think I sent it to you. Those two guys who went Bigfoot hunting and died up in, I
You
think it's
sent it to me,
Wisconsin.
but I never like actually got around to reading the article.
Let me, yeah. So I sent you the BBC News one. So they were searching for Sasquatch up in Washington State. They were from Portland, Oregon. There was a 3 day search around Christmas, and they found him dead. They believe exposure got him, which, considering the time of the year and everything, they probably didn't prep very well.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit here and call them stupid or foolish or anything, but it's like you guys got to be, if you're ever going out camping, be aware of where you're camping and what you need to bring to survive. But it's like I remember just like looking online, like Bigfoot hunters found dead, and I'm like, what? I'm like, so what? Like, how did they find him? You know, like, did they just find pieces? Did they? No, apparently they just they died. They lost from. They also lost to exposure. So some sympathy's got to their families on that. But it's just like, you ever see Jason X, the one where it's in space?
Yeah.
You know the scene where it's like they try to distract him with the whole simulation thing, and they have the people in the sleeping bags,
Yeah.
and he picks up the sleeping bag and slamming him
Just
against a
beating
tree.
them against the wall. Yeah.
And he was just the first thing I thought of. It's like, oh no, and then I just imagined that for some reason, and it's just like I'm just imagining him going, "Do you hear that?" And then,
Wham.
well, it's just like I'm just, uh, it just reminds me of this old picture I seen. It was people cosplaying Soul Eater, and it was a Maka and a Soul cosplayer, and the Maka cosplayer was trying to pick up and swing the Soul one, and the caption was, "I'm gonna hit this motherfucker with this motherfucker."
Never mind. There's a 12-week wait for that book, so I guess I'm waiting until I find time to
Oh,
actually go
really?
look for it.
It's a shame you're not that close anymore. I could just be
Right?
like, "Here you
I'd be
go."
like, yeah, I'm gonna
Uh,
come over and grab it once you're done.
yeah. Well, it's like it's like 200 or 300 pages, so I'll tear through it pretty quick once I
Oh
sit
yeah.
down. But yeah, it was apparently exposure, but it's just kind of like, all right, guys. The article is Bigfoot hunters found dead. It's like, let's see. I was just talking about how they had to deal with high water levels and fallen trees. So yeah, it was
Oh yeah. They were
yeah,
kind of screwed.
it's snow, freezing rain, and the temperatures drop. So basically, they got hit with a winter storm up there, and they probably weren't adequately prepared, or if that's the official story. But yeah,
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah. But no, I was like I'm like, oh cool, because now Twitter has figured out, it's like, oh, you like cryptids and stuff because all this drone insanity going on. I'm like, oh, what's this? Because I'm up here by an airport. I'm like 20 minutes from one.
Uh-huh.
So so it's just like I'm always here. Like I hear trains, and because it's like a whole big area I'm in here where it's like, commerce. It's like I'm just used to hearing noises and ignoring it, with people flipping out about there's lights in the sky. I'm like, yeah, they're called airplanes. It's like, oh, this thing looks crazy. I'm like, that's a plane from below, guys.
That's
Like
an
I'm not
airplane.
saying I'm not saying there isn't something weird potentially going on, but I'm also like, really? Like, so it's like some people are just like, yeah, it's an airplane. I remember when I was a kid, there was a crop circle that got put in a field maybe half a mile from me, and that was like the worst time of my life because people were constantly flying helicopters and planes and everything to take a look at it, and it just was constant air pollution and noise driving me nuts,
Right.
like all hours of the day. And then all of a sudden, because where I grew up, it was in vicinity to a GE facility
Mm-hmm.
where like they test their jets and stuff, and I guess our you know areas along where they can fly. So you'd always hear like jets flying by real fast, but man, air traffic went up a lot when that crop circle got found. So it was just constantly like hearing flying by, and we had a couple times where they broke the sound barrier out there, and boy, that was annoying because you'd hear just a bang and your windows would rattle. Ugh. But yeah, I think that's about all I've been up to, and I guess that's all about we got to talk about, right?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done a whole lot either. I've kind of just been chilling at home the past few days, relaxing.
I've been working and then tired, and then I was like, oh, I'll go shovel the driveway this morning. I had myself a hearty breakfast of eggs, bacon, and toast, and I'm like, boy, I could have used some more.
All
But
right, so
yeah, I'm gonna get on out of here and
I
chill, and
think we said every other week.
yeah, we're gonna try it because of how my work schedule is and your work schedule is. I have every other Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. We're gonna try and do this every 2 weeks. So we'll hopefully hear from you. Hopefully you'll hear from us in here in 2 weeks and not 2 months.
Yeah.
So
This will probably go up on Monday. Um,
don't move again.
yeah, I'll try not to move again.
All right. Well, it's not great talking to you guys. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Later. Bye.